Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you. Showtime! Woo! 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 Silent and profiling. It's live and in color. Woo!
We are back. Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Mikey. That is Tommy. And we had a different intro.
We did. Guys, because we're on a different streaming platform that we normally use, so it will be corrected next Friday. Well, actually, no, I take that back, Mikey. So next Friday, we won't have a show because just to update you guys, your boy Tommy got a job finally. I was in bad shape for a little bit. That's why we haven't been live for a little while. So I want to thank you guys for being patient with us. But I did get a job, so that's great news. But unfortunately, the days that I work are going to be a little bit mixed right now. So we won't be live next Friday. However, we will be live Monday night. Yeah. So we're replacing Friday next week with Monday, and it might be that way for a little bit, guys, until I get situated with my new job, and then I'll be able to figure that out. So, but yeah, the Friday Night Lights intro will be fixed the next time we go live on a Friday night.
So, Tommy, it's been a while since we've been on here.
It's been a long time.
A lot of stuff that's happened with Buffalo.
I know.
So
man,
let's start with, back in January, the end of January. What's going on, DG? Yeah, Tommy got a job, and that's what you get the woo.
Yeah, woo.
Back in the end of January, Micah said goodbye, and hung it up.
Yeah.
Turned his retirement papers. We re-signed Vandermark. We re-signed Ja'Cory Couch, Daquan Landry, offensive line Mike Edwards, Frank Gore. We signed them all to future contracts.
Nice.
Then we had our lovely, coaches and GM end of the year meetings, and McDermott said Matthew Smiley will be back.
He's coming back,
and we melted down, brother. We melted down. Well, he decided, U-turn. He fired Smiley.
I can't have this guy. Yeah.
Yep. He hires Chris Torber as the special teams coordinator, which I loved. I love Torber. Great special teams coach.
Yeah.
We re-signed Alec Anderson to his exclusive rights. Tommy Doyle hung it up, medical retirement.
Who else
never good at
retired? Mitch Morse finally retired.
Yeah,
by the way,
I saw that. He retired.
Yeah.
Wish him luck as well. Then we went out on the defensive side and hired Ryan Nielsen, Mike Pellegrino, Jason Rabonovich, a bunch of defensive guys.
All right, trying to fix that up.
Yeah. Nielsen's a D-line coach too. That's where he's, and a former D coordinator. So it's nice to see. And then we get into some, re-signings. The combine starts and Shakir drops, 4-year contract extension for Shakir. And then today we see Sam Martin get released.
Thank God.
And then we
it was time.
Yeah, and then we see
he didn't have a terrible season. I will say that.
But we want to get younger there.
Absolutely. He just didn't have the leg anymore. You know what I mean? Yep. Especially in Buffalo weather. But he did better than I thought he was going to do this year. I will say that.
Mm-hmm. And then today we also had the signing of Terrell Bernard to a 4-year, $50 million contract. Like what Bean has done with his 2 signings so far,
Absolutely.
And we'll get into the James Cook thing in a minute
Mm-hmm.
because we haven't talked about that yet. But what do you think of the first two being Shakir and Bernard?
Love the signings. Honestly, Shakir, we'll talk about him first. Dude, like me and you, Mikey, we've been high on this guy since the day we drafted him. Yeah, since draft day, right? Like we aren't the kind, like we knew what he was about when we drafted him. Put it that way. Like we aren't just now this bandwagon fan. Like, oh yeah, Khalil, we knew it all along. No, we told you guys from the very beginning, watch out for this guy. Khalil Shakir is going to make some noise. Just you're going to have to be a little bit patient because we still had Stephon Diggs in the house. Like we had and Gabe Davis. So it was going to take a little bit for Shakir to kind of pop on the scene. But he did just that. And I think, listen, man, I think that's a cheap deal. I really do, because I don't think he's reached a ceiling.
12.5 a year. That
So that listen, that's a great deal for him.
Is it like up? It's like up to 15, but I thought I saw something that said he gets about 12.
But he's just that guy though. Like the one thing I loved about Khalil Shakir, not just his play on the field, but also like how he is off the field. Like the dude, like he is super, super respected. Like he is a nice guy. The dude, like he sounds so mature. The day he got here as a rookie, his very first press conference, I'm like, damn, that dude sounds like he's been in the NFL for years already. You know what I mean? He holds it all. Like he's not immature. Like I love the way he handled it. I just like, it's a lesson for a lot of these players that are trying to get paid, which we'll talk about
shortly.
Shortly. But I love the signing. And then also Bernard, once again, a young talent. The only thing I will say about Bernard, I hope he stays healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing. Like Khalil Shakir so far has pretty much been healthy. And when he's not, he's still been active, right? Like he's still gone out there and produced, even with a bad ankle, or, you know what I mean? Like he's been relatively healthy. Bernard, on the other hand, worries me a little because he's undersized a little bit, that position, but that's what, McDermott likes. But this is where I would say when Bean makes these extensions, some of these guys, it's come down to injuries, why they really haven't worked out. It's not so much the play.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's my concern with some of these guys on the extensions.
Some of them.
Some of them. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying some of them. I'm just saying. So I hope if he can stay healthy, great signing. Perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Kenny, right? Matt Milano, right? You know what I mean? Like, so that's where I'm going with it. But I like the
Poyer and Hyde, when we signed them, they both stayed healthy pretty much. Trey, we signed him. He started getting hurt. Milano, Milano was injured before he was signed. Honestly, that's my biggest fear about Christian Benford. He's earned the paycheck, but Taylor Rapp, both those guys have missed our biggest game of the year,
right? With
injuries.
Roy coming in, these signings were expected though. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I didn't think neither one of those guys were gonna walk out the door, but it's good that Bean's getting it done and getting it done now rather than later, when their deals could be worth more, right? Like I always like that. Get it done now, get it done early, get it out of the way. And then now you got these guys locked up, and they're young guys too, right? So like that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like I'm good with I'm good with the signing so far, but you're right. It was expected, but we got it done early, and that's what I like to see.
We had 5 of our own coming into contract years. We've done 2, and I would like to see 2 more. I'd like to see Groot and Benford get theirs. I'm not in the camp of let's pay James Cook $15 million a year.
Yeah, neither am I. Neither am I. Hey, listen, man, I get it. Like Bill's Mafia, here we go again. Like it's always one of these things where like a player acts a certain way or does something, and Bill's Mafia is like 50-50 on their opinion, right?
Now, would I like to re-sign him? Yes. Do I want to re-sign him to 15? No.
Well, I'm talking about the way he's handling it, right? Some people are like, oh, every player, does that and takes the team off social media. No, not really. Not every player. The players that like our
Usually-
divas act like the players that are like, you don't like, to me, it's just so, I don't like it. Like, I think it's just the wrong way of you have an agent. Listen, you have an agent for a reason, Mikey. There is no reason for a player, unless you're totally disgruntled and you fucking, like James Cook's been here, we already extended him, like, been here a while and he's been crazy run, like great yards, and we're just keep paying him like shit. I get it. He's disgruntled. Fine. Right. Go to social media. But dude, you're still on your rookie contract. Calm down. Let your agent work this out. You don't need to go and like, what is the point? I just don't I don't get the point of it, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's childish. I'm sorry, guys. It's very childish. Daniel, I thought Sam Martin had his best year as Bills last season. Sounds like they tried to get him to take a pay cut. He said, no, I don't know about that, but if that's true.
That came out.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah, they asked him to, they couldn't come to an agreement on what it was going to be. So they all ultimately just released him. Let's go down to this one, because I think this is a great one.
Jeez, Sam. Yeah.
Let's go to Roy.
Are
you willing to pay Groot 20 to 25 million?
Okay.
Me, I'm closer to 20, but yes. Groot's underrated. Yes, he doesn't have the double-digit sacks, but he does so much for that defense. He does. Imagine us having Groot with an actual interior defensive line that creates havoc.
Right. Yeah, I'm good with. That's shaky, man. Listen, I think Groot is underrated. Mikey's correct. Groot does a lot of little things. He's great at run defense, great at pressure rate. I wish he'd get home more, of course, but he's super young. He's relatively healthy, right? Like every season. I'd be good at 20. Like, I'm good right there. I don't know about anything more than that. And I think he would take 20. I'll be honest with you. I think he understands his value so far.
You can go 20 and then put incentives in there up to 25.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's ways to do that.
Absolutely. Yep.
Would you be willing to use Groot or Cook in a trade for Myles Garrett? Cook, yes. Groot, no.
No, yeah, because that would be pointless, right? Like, you want your other side. You want your young core there on both sides of the ball there on both edges. So I would not, because then now you got to replace Groot. Yep. Right, you got to put. So now we're back at square one, kind of.
No, don't get me wrong. Myles Garrett's better than Groot.
No, he is. But I'm saying you still want that
together.
Exactly. You still want that other side putting pressure, because Groot's going to put the pressure. He may not get home, but imagine he's putting pressure, and now you got Garrett coming from the other side. All you need now, obviously, we need a DT to create pressure on the inside, and now you got a core defense. But no, I wouldn't. Cook, I would, if Cook is demanding like he's worth 15, like he's not settling. Like if Bean has talks with his agent and he's not budging, let's say Bean's at 10.5 or whatever, and he's not budging. Yeah, I think I would move on with Cook, because you got Ray Davis. You can replace the running back guys. I know Cook's been good over the last 2 seasons, but this offensive line is also helping out a lot with the run game. You can get a replacement for James Cook probably through the draft. And honestly, Ray Davis for the first year can take on that role. I'm going to be honest with you.
Filled in for him this year and did great in the one game that he got the carries. And thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Do we have the train horn here?
And we do. Man, guys, it's been so long. Been about a month. And I'm going to hit that. Thank you very much. Oh, Mikey was a little there you are. Now you're good. I thought it was me. I'm like, are my glasses fogged up?
No, like all of a sudden, like my computer hasn't even been on in like a month.
Look at this, guys. This is what you get when it's been a month. You get you get sloppy podcasting by us. But hey, McMatty, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's get to some of the chats. By the way, guys, I am working the chat tonight. Mikey doesn't have access right now. He will in the future. Yeah. that's another story for another day. But so I'm doing the chat
And
tonight.
Spaghetti Steve, thank you. We missed you guys too. I think Ohio against the world came in and was telling us, they missed us.
It has
Welcome
been.
back. Thank you. It has been a minute. We've been trying to find a time to get back, and it worked out tonight.
It's still young. Yeah, he's still young.
And he's making 17 a year.
Cole, with our O-line, we can make any running back a star. I don't like the idea of paying Cook, especially with the draft class. Give Garrett the money. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like, look, and I know that's when I'm talking about Mikey. Like, I think Bill's Mafia is always split when it comes to star kind of players on our team that have like these disputes with the team. Like, he wants this. You got to pay James Cook. He's had, 20 touchdowns, and he's had 1,000 yards. Like, I get that, but you also have to understand, like, he is not a top 5 running back, guys. I'm sorry. And you cannot pay him top 5 money. You cannot.
He only plays 50% of the snaps.
That too.
And he doesn't play on third down because he can't pass block.
Right. Exactly. So listen, guys, it's not a knock on James Cook. Do I want James Cook back? Yes. At a reasonable price, at what I feel like he's valued at. But whatever, man. Look, at the end of the day, I just don't want to be put in a hole for a running back when there's a lot of running backs in the draft, a lot of running backs in free agent. We have one in the house with Ray Davis. Don't get tied up with your running back. Not on that kind of deal. He is not a game-changing running back. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. He is not a Barkley. He is not a Henry, right? He is not going to just be that dog all year long. He's a good running back. He had a great season last year with the touchdowns. But overall, yards, I mean, he was in the middle of the pack. Let's be real. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not paying that. If I'm Bean, I think I'm set at 10, man. I really am. And even at that, I'm like, God, he hasn't paid a running back once since he's been here. Think about it, guys. He has not paid a running back once. This is a big decision for Brandon Bean. Yeah. It's a huge decision because he has a lot of guys he needs to pay. Right. So what's your value here?
Yeah, I like this one. It was
which one?
Chuckles World. Groot, Cook, Benford. You can only keep 2. Who do you pick? That's easy. Groot and Benford. If I can only keep 2 of the 3, I'm keeping Groot.
And Benford. Okay, I see it. You know what I mean? Groot, Cook, Benford. Okay, only pick 2. So yeah, I'm going Groot and Benford for sure. Benford's been our number 1 corner. If we lose Benford, that's rough, right? Now once again, we're looking for a corner in the draft to be our number 1.
Already looking for a corner.
Well, I mean, to be our number 1. You can't get rid of him.
Yeah, but we're looking for a corner too right now.
Absolutely.
You Benford, you got none.
Yeah, and you're not. And I still think, guys, I really feel like Groot has he has not reached a ceiling. Yeah, he has a lot more to show. He really does. Now, I will say this. I thought he was going to take a bigger step next year. I didn't think he took a step backwards, though. But I just didn't feel like, last year, 2024 season. I didn't think he took a huge step forward. Like, he's taken a step forward, Mikey, I think, every year. Yeah. It just hasn't been like a leap, right? Like, that's the only knock on Groot. But the good thing about that, though, is he's young still, where you can see it. Maybe next year he takes that leap. You know what I mean? Ed Oliver took a minute to do that leap. We paid him, and he took that leap the next year. So,
but the rest of them also took a step back. Everybody on the defense took a step back this year. It wasn't just
they did. That is true. AJ Epinesa.
AJ had 0 pass rush this year. Really good against the run, but pass rush, he was nothing. Daquan struggled this year. Ed struggled this year. It was like our defense wasn't great. I'm with you, Robert, on the. I feel like Cook's getting coached by Diggs and his brother, Dalvin. Yeah,
I'll be honest with the Cook thing. I think the reason why I'm really disappointed is because I didn't see that. I did not see him doing it. Like, I didn't see that happening with him. Like, I felt like he's a soft spoken guy. He was just going to let his agent, and all of a sudden now he's like doing this cryptic thing on Twitter. It's like, oh, here we go. Like,
then he goes on Nightcap and says, "Oh, I don't want to be a distraction."
Right. Well, you are. You're beginning to like, just, I don't, once again, it's not just Cook, guys. It's all these free agents. You have agents for a reason. Let them handle things. You don't need to stir the pot with the fan base. It makes, I don't get it. I really don't understand it. It makes zero sense. And if you're going to become a distraction, then I would think Bean would be like, you know what? I'm going to put you, we still have you under your rookie deal.
Mhm.
We're just going to let it play out.
And they can also franchise him next year if they want to keep him.
Exactly. So
And be cheaper than 15.
And I'd be like, you know what? Just go ahead and keep us off your Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But you're going to play for the Buffalo Bills. Until your rookie deal's done. And then we'll figure it out. But I don't think they pay him.
I don't not that. I don't think they've done that. Spaghetti Steve comes in and says, would you be upset if in our first 3 draft picks, we only take 1 D lineman and instead take secondary help? I will not be upset if we go out and, we trade for Hendrickson, we sign Bosa or any of those defensive ends that are out there right now, because there's so many.
Man,
there's Mac, there's Bosa, Allen got released today, the D tackle. So if we're going out and building up some of these veterans,
they're there,
and we only take 1 D lineman and then use picks on the secondary, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean there's some good players.
We do nothing, and then that's what happens. No, I won't be happy.
I would say the Bosa thing is intriguing to me, but can he stay healthy? Like, that is the knock on him, right? It's been like that through his whole career. When healthy, the dude is a stud.
Reddick's out there.
Yeah.
Mac's out there.
But same with Mac. Like, Mac's been same with Mac. Like, it's like, what are we going to get? Like, that's the thing I think Bean is cautious about because of the Vaughn thing, too. It's like, you got to remember, like Mac's getting older in age too, right?
And getting older in age.
Both and they both have
Reddick
kind of
is in his prime though.
Yeah, true.
And he played with Deion Dawkins. Him and Dawkins are buddies.
Yeah.
In college, like there's a lot of and it just keeps getting more and more guys.
Yeah.
Bosa has more injuries than should be legally allowed. He's had a ton of injuries. I want to see Group get a year. Yep.
Stay away from Bosa. Yeah.
And I'm okay with not going with it. I'm just saying, if we're not going to load up in the draft on defensive line, we better be going out and getting some of these veterans that are being let go.
Yeah.
Because we need more from our defensive line if we plan on getting over the hump.
Absolutely. They got to, man. Like, listen, man, here's the deal, man. Like, free agency, it's going to all, like, what Bean does is free agency is going to really, play out in the draft, right? Like, if we go out and get Allen, I doubt they're going to draft Grant, right? If Grant's available, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just throwing stuff out there. Like, it's going to be really interesting this free agency. Like, really interested to see who he picks up, how much he pays, and does he do a trade? Right? Yeah. Does he make that trade?
Is it Hendrickson? Is it?
Because we know now it's not the guy.
Crosby signed 3 years, $100 million.
Yeah, it's not him. So, but you got on the flip side, you got the Cleveland Browns GM going, we're not giving him up, which is a really stupid.
But you also have the owner declining to meet with him. It was reported today that Garrett asked to meet with the owner, and the owner declined the meeting.
Wow. Interesting. So the owner declined a meeting with Garrett?
Yeah. Browns owner declined.
But what would the meeting be? Well, I mean, what would the meaning be?
To talk just about what's going on and what the future is, and the owner just declined to meet with him.
I would assume.
I guarantee
I would.
Kula does not turn down their franchise if they want to meet.
So here's what I think. Listen, he already wrote the letter. There is no going back, right? I don't think there's a, like, if you're Garrett, you wrote that letter, you made, like, that right there for me, like, he took the time to write that letter. He's done, right? Like, that's his final goodbye. There is, like, I don't think there's a way back, right? Like, he can't backstep and go, you know what? I met with the owner, I changed my mind. Like, I think if he wanted a meeting with the owner, it's because the GM's come out and said, I'm not trading Myles Garrett, and he wants to go, hell, you got to do me right here. I've done you right. I did everything right. I was peaceful in my exit or my, my trade kind of exit, right? Like
A trade
I'm
request.
trying to do, my trade request. Like I'm trying to handle this the right way. Like you know what I mean? Like, and that's, bro, I respect players that do that. Like if Diggs would have came out instead of doing that whole nonsense, right? Like the whole, like that I respect. I will give a player that. Yo, you don't want to be here? You want to request a trade? You want to say nice, hey, Bills Mafia? Like if Stephon Diggs did that, I think everyone would have been like, you know what? Hey, we get it. I would have said, hey, I get it. I totally understand. You and the coach or something's going on.
But he started,
you
started chirping at Josh and
no, but I'm saying before that, like if he was just like unhappy, he's like, you know what? I did my time here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had my best time here, but now it's I'm not feeling it anymore. Like that's the right way. That's how you handle things, in my opinion. Like you want out, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to talk shit online. Like
Steph got paid, and then he wanted out. The second he got paid, he wanted out because we released him or traded him in year one of his new 4-year, $96 million.
That was
contract.
but that tells me it nothing to do with money though. That was more about just him and to me, at the end of the day, it was him and McDermott. He just did not. That was it. Like
whatever happened that previous season when they got locked in the room. And, like whatever happened. Did not go over well.
And then that training camp or mini camp. That whole thing that happened. So there was no. The writing was on the wall. He had to go, right? But I'm just saying, like the way Garrett is handling it, like that's the right way, and I think the owner should respect that and go, hey, let's have a meeting because and let's go ahead and do what's best. Because what's best is for Cleveland, bro, you're a dumpster fire. Like you need to rebuild. You need you need to get all the draft picks you can. You need to forget about the Deshaun Watson thing and start over with everything. You know what I mean? Why would you want a disgruntled player on your team that now you don't, you know what I mean? Like that's the worst thing you can do, right? Because now fans are going to be like, bro, we got this guy, he's refusing to play. He's pissed off. Like we could have got draft picks. We could have got this. You know what I mean? Like dumb. Do the right thing. Let him go. Get what you can for him, which is going to be a lot. And that's it. It's real simple. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, Roy, Cleveland did do this to themselves. I want to hit Spaghetti Steve's comment. He goes back and says, I really want Josh Palmer as a cheap wide receiver that can get open against man. Good route runner, young, great hands, good size. I like Palmer. I thought he did wonders in LA. Speaking of wide receivers, what do you think of the DK request in the trade?
I would love DK here, but I mean,
a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but I'm sure they would figure that out. There's always a way. But the thing is, I think you can get him for like a third or fourth round pick. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Debo just went.
They won't.
Debo just went for like what, a
fifth round, fifth.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like you can get him. I mean, we have a lot of draft picks. Stop hoarding your draft picks. I understand about the money.
We're not gonna.
He's a hell of a player. You can figure that out.
There's 10 rookies aren't making this team.
Right. You see, Adams got cut too. You know what? I was thinking the other day. Adams is a hell of a player, Mikey. But how many teams has he been on in the course of over the last like 2 or 3 years? I mean, my God,
3. He went Packers, Raiders, Jets.
I mean, in a short span, right?
He went Raiders, Jets.
Yeah.
I would love to see Devontae in Buffalo. I think Devontae still has something.
I do, but I don't know, man. Something I don't know.
I don't know how he would fit in our locker room, though.
I don't know, man. I would much rather have a DK. I just would. I feel like he would be.
What? No way, Daniel. I get DK wants the 30, but they're asking for a first and a third. I ain't giving that up. I mean, he is only 27.
They're not gonna. No team's gonna listen. AJ, like most of the receivers have been traded in, like over the last 2-3 years. Like, I don't think anyone gone for a first, have they? Even AJ Brown went for what, like a third, right? Like
no, he went for a first.
Did he?
Yeah, because
You sure?
they gave up the 17th.
Oh, it was a
pick, and they
late first, right?
No,
it was a late.
It was like the
was it?
17th pick, and they
Oh,
took,
okay. I didn't even know that.
they
Okay.
took the wide receiver that they thought was going to be the next AJ
Oh,
Brown.
okay,
Wasn't
okay.
done anything.
I would not trade a first for DK then. If they're asking for, I would not give up a first.
I mean, he's 27, so he's still young.
Yeah. But you got to pay. But then you got to eat.
You got to pay him $30 million.
Yeah, but I'm not. Listen, man. I think right now we got to work on the defense, and I'm not.
I would agree 100%. I'd rather take that $30 million and give it to Garrett, or Hendrickson, or split it up and get a lesser D end and go get Jonathan Allen.
And I want to say this:
big guy that clog up the middle.
It's not like our first round pick is the greatest. We're at the end of the first round. Right. So
this is a loaded defensive line class.
I know. I'm just saying, like, when people talk about first round picks, I think the first thing we think of is like, man, like first round, like
top 10.
Well, we're like at the tail fucking end.
Yeah.
Like, like I mean, you still can get obviously a good play. You can get good players in almost every round, really. I mean, and I feel like Brandon Beane's done that pretty well, but at least in the mid rounds. But the first round, he's shaky lately.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I wouldn't give that up.
DG comes in and says the Bills traded a first and some for Diggs. I agree, but we were in a different time of our build. Josh Allen is still becoming the superstar that he is today.
Yeah.
And Roy comes in and says we do need a legit option outside. We just scored the most points we've ever scored in the history of the Bills. And yes, we would like to have that elite guy outside, but are you willing to give up a impact player on defense to go get that guy on that wide receiver? I'd rather use that money to get an impact player on defense.
Right. I'm with you. But I also agree, though. I feel like we do need that outside receiver. We do need that.
I would agree with that. But you can go get Palmer or Slayton or one of these draft picks that are coming out and just keep building that way. I have a hard time believing that we're gonna trade for Metcalf and then give him $30 million after everything we went through with Steph and we refixed our salary cap. I just can't.
But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand where Dan was going with that because we did do that with Stefan. But you're right, Mikey. It was a different time. Josh was still trying to come into his own, right, as a quarterback. He needed that alpha at that time, like really at that time, right? Like, and if you see the way we did it with him, we had John Brown, Cole Beasley. They were like stepping stones, and then we finally got the alpha. And look. When we got that alpha in 2020, we went to the AFC Championship. I mean, like, the trade worked out. Like, I mean, obviously now we could go back and be like, Justin Jefferson, like, obviously. But
no,
I didn't think that was a bad overall trade. It sucks that it didn't work out at the end. But numbers-wise, and what we did with them,
that 4-year run between the two was elite. It was one of the best connections in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Like, they were dominant, those two together.
I just don't know about now. Now, look, I will say this, though. If our offense was struggling and our defense was elite or close to it, then, you know what? Who cares about a late first round for DK? Sure. I'd probably, if that's what they wanted to get, fine. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're going to do that again. Sure. Why not? But that's not the case. I think our offense is fine, and we'll find that help on the outside. Our defense is, we need help. We need help. And, they need to pay attention to the defenses this offseason. Yeah. They have to, guys. Like, I don't think you guys realize,
they need to get that game record.
Exactly. Like, we just, it's disappointing to me, Mikey. I'll tell you what's disappointing. And I don't want to go bash McDermott, but we're going in year 9 with him or year 8? What are we on? I lost track because what are we on with it?
No, wait. He came in 17.
9. Didn't he get into 9? Year 9.
Josh is going to year 8. He's going into year 9.
Right. You would think, I'm just throwing this out there, by year 9, this defense would have been built already to be one of the most dominant defenses because there's not a lot of defensive minded head coach, right? You know what I mean? Like you would think by now, like this defense would have already formed, and you know what I mean? And it just has never gone that way. It's been good, but never great. It's been good and then bad, or good in the middle, never bad, but in the middle. But my point is, we're year 9 in, and look, we're fucking still like chasing around for defense, trying to fix the defense. Like it should not be that way. Like this defense should never. I'm shocked that we're here right now talking about, you know what I mean? Like still trying to find pieces to make this defense work, because it's not like we're losing players of free agency, and that's the reason why our defense has gotten bad. Like we just never gotten it right.
No,
you know what I mean?
We've never gotten the defensive line right. Like our secondary is
the line, yes,
yeah. Our secondary is one of the best in the league. When it was Trey and Poyer and Hyde, and then plug in CB name that you want over at CB2, and with Tron Johnson, in the slot. Like our secondary was legit. Our linebackers were legit with Edmonds and Milano, but our defensive line has been the one that's just hasn't. And the way we play defense, we need game records on that defensive line.
But that's my point, though, Mikey. We're going in year 9. Why has it taken?
Well, we took the swing for Vaughn, and Vaughn was working out until he tore his ACL.
But I mean, even the DT, right? Like Ed Oliver, you knew he was undersized when you drafted him. Fine. Like I still don't mind the
Dexter Lawrence. You passed on Jeffrey Simmons. You passed on other elite defensive tackles to take Oliver.
Right. So okay, I'm good. Okay. And you know what? I had I'm not going to backtrack now and be like, oh, I hated the bit.
Christian Wilkins.
I like Ed Oliver. I want it. Yeah, but at the same time, you draft an undersized DT. You better get ready to. You need to get him help. Right. You need to get the
big
and and it just feel like
clogger.
All they've done is like grab these little free agents just for band-aids for he'll do for a year or two.
Yeah.
He'll do for a year or two. And it's not working that way. It's like it just hasn't, right? With who was it next to him for a little bit? The guy didn't work. What was his name? The guy before Daquan, huh? Remember he sat out for COVID year. What was his name?
Oh, Star
Lutule, right?
Yep.
Right, and then Daquan worked for 1 year, but once again, it's like these are just plugins, and Roy's right. We did that with the O-line until they finally figured out you can't keep doing that.
Draft them. You have to draft.
Right. You have to draft young. You have to get a good offensive line coach, defensive line coach to get these guys right to go. And that's another thing. We had Bobby Johnson. We didn't know what the fuck he was doing. What did they go out and do? They got Cromer. They got Young. They got right now they got an offensive line coach that knows what he's doing. Then they started drafting younger guys. Osiris Torrance, Spencer Brown finally found his way because he has good coaching. Like now we're talking. Like now the offense. That's how you build a line. The defensive line is never built that way.
But we haven't drafted defense. Last year was the
first
time we've drafted a defensive lineman.
Carter, right?
Yeah, Carter. Since Ed Oliver. First defense tackle we drafted. Since
and it was a late, day 3? Was Carter? Was day 2 or day 3?
He was a 3rd round pick. He was day 2.
Day 2, yeah. Right? Or day 3?
Day 2.
Okay. Yeah, Star Lutule, Danny. Yeah. So, but still, that's not, listen, Carter's going to be he's a rotational guy.
Right? He was going to be a backup 3 tech. We always knew he was going to be a backup 3 tech.
Exactly.
Why didn't we go and try to get Trevondre Sweat last year?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't get, I just don't understand. And that's on Bean. Listen, I love Bean, but bro, you're not doing it right. This is why we're in the hole we're in. This is why the defensive line continues to be bad against the run. We don't have that run. We don't have the big guys in the middle to push the pocket. There's games. It's funny. When Daquan plays great, Ed Oliver shines. You know what I mean? But when he doesn't, Ed Oliver's lost. Yeah. We need a big guy next to Ed Oliver, and he needs to be young. He needs to be dominant.
Robin. Batman needs his Robin.
Absolutely. And then you'll see the defensive line start to shape up and form the way we want to see it, right? But I don't know. We'll see what they do.
Spaghetti Steve comes in and says, isn't it funny that 2 drafts in a row, the Bills' #1 need in the offseason is what the elites and the draft. I get what they're saying. Last year it was a heavy wide receiver draft. We needed a wide receiver. We took Keon Coleman. This year we need defensive line, and it's the heaviest defensive line draft. Now we needed wide receivers last year, and we only took one in a loaded wide receiver draft.
Right. We did some
one.
Yeah, that's another thing I did. And how did he?
And we need wide receivers again this year.
How did Bean? You know how he has his draft board. Like, I don't understand how he didn't have any other receiver besides Keon Coleman on that draft board. I mean, I'm not saying I saw the whole board, but how did he not have another? That's what I'm saying. But not like, how did he not have some guys still on the board that were receivers that were available? Clearly, they were late in the year.
Right? I like Eddie U. But there was a bunch of receivers out there. How'd you not grab another one and then put them in your system?
I don't know.
Now we have to go out to free agency and try to get another one. Like, we're hoping we bring back Matt Collins, but really it's Coleman, it's Shakir, it's the little guy who was hurt this year, Samuel,
Curtis Samuel,
Samuel, and then Matt Collins. Those are the four. Then we're gonna need another one, and we're only going to carry 5. So I don't know.
I don't
see someone
know
with speed.
I would. Yeah. Curtis Samuel is definitely disappointing. He has speed. I feel like he can be better, Mikey. I do. Let's see what happens next year with him. Because, man, I will say I was disappointed. Like, honestly, I was excited for the signing because I knew what he was capable of doing.
Hurt all year.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So that's why I'm gonna give him the kind of pass for now. But if next year it's the same old that I saw last year, like, then it was a bad signing.
Yeah. And listen, Bean is missed. As DG comes in and says really none of Bean's DB line and free agents have worked. Star didn't work, Tim didn't work. Vaughn worked for the first 9 games that first year. He was everything we wanted.
I thought Vaughn did okay last year. I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was bad last year.
And he redid his contract to make it what he got out of him was worth it.
Right.
But like, him getting hurt was unexpected.
And it was
living up to everything we needed.
Yeah.
I like Royals, good hands, speedster. Yeah, it was great in the combine. There's a lot of good ones this year that are coming out that will be interesting.
Yeah, I haven't yet. I haven't had time to really dig.
I haven't started my deep dive in my draft yet either.
Yeah,
but I will.
Yeah. I do like. I want to look more into the guy from Michigan that everybody's high on, right? Kenneth Grant.
Grant's gonna probably go top 20.
But that's what I'm thinking. Right, and I heard he's having he had a good combine or whatever. He had
a great combine.
Yeah, so
he was a monster. Great run defense and he's exactly pass rush.
He's what we need.
Yeah, he's ideal for what we need.
Exactly. So if you're Bean, so here's my thing: if you want Grant and he's probably not falling down to you, do you just go out and get like an Allen and say fuck it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
There's other ones out there.
Now you got that locked up. You know what I mean?
Jamie Lee Caldwell. Yeah, Jamie Lee Caldwell is probably gonna be a 3rd or 4th round pick. He's a big one tech out of Oregon. Then you have Harmon, you have Darius Alexander. Like, there's a bunch of other D tackles that will fall. Now, most of those guys are 3 techs. They can play a little 1 tech if you need it into, but they're not made for that. You need the big guys to do that.
Exactly.
So they're Alfred Collins out of Texas. Like, all those guys are late day 1, early day 2 picks.
Right. Yeah.
It's a very deep defensive tackle draft. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays. Delon Walker, he's another one. He's like 6'6", 340, monster. Tyreek Williams, who's a run stuffer. It is a very deep. Harmon is a beast, but he's more of a 3 tech than a 1 tech. Now, I would love to get Harmon and then come back with Tyreek Williams or Delon Walker or Jamie Lee Caldwell or one of those types, or Alfred Collins as the big run stuffer, because on 3rd down, putting Harmon and Ed together would be awesome. They both. You always have an elite 3 tech coming in with those two, and then on 3rd down, where we were god awful this year, we gave up 45% of our third down conversions this year.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
I agree.
wild.
Daniel Vaughn was very, I'm guessing,
Mhm.
good until his ACL. The second year, he was a shell of himself, which is expected, especially an ACL and his age. Last year was pretty good, but he got a contract to be a closer, especially in the playoffs, and he hasn't been that. And he wasn't. And you know what, though? I will say this, though. A lot of guys really haven't. Our defense is disappointing. Like, let's be real. Like, our defense was, look, if it wasn't for the turnovers this year, which we did a great job at, it would have been really bad, guys. So, like, it wasn't just Vaughn. And I'm really praying and hoping to God, if we build this line, that these players that we either bring in free agency or through the draft can work in the scheme, bro. That's another issue that I have, right?
How big this draft is for the defensive tackles, because that's where I think we need, being the McDermott preach. And hey, how you doing, Beth? It was great to see you. I'm glad you've been here. We're happy to be back. Being in McDermott preach trench first, but they don't put any of their draft assets in the trenches,
right?
On the defensive side. It's been, they have drafted edge guys. We drafted Solomon, but we haven't drafted the big monster defensive tackle yet. That's what we need this year. And I don't know what just happened to me.
You're super blurry.
Give me a second.
I wanted you to keep talking. I could have cut you off.
I'm like, what happened to me?
You were in a rhythm. As you were in a rhythm, you were getting blurry and blurrier. It's like I'm trying to focus. My eyes are like,
my camera's like, dude, stop talking about this.
Yeah, dude. The chat's like, whoa.
Yeah. Tommy's getting deeper and deeper in his beers. Mikey's getting blurry and blurry.
It's not Mike. It's me. Yep. Oh my god, dude. But by the way, you saw Geno Smith is gone.
Yeah, he got traded to the Raiders.
Yeah, and Debo got traded. Who else? What other moves that were done? There was a couple moves, right? NFL
Raiders
moves.
traded for Geno. Lamonte David's coming back on a 1-year deal with the Bucks. We talked about the Browns owner declining Jonathan Allen got released after 8 years. Chargers released running back Edwards. Michael Gallup's trying to make a comeback into the NFL.
Wow. Okay.
He's a speed guy, big speed guy.
Yeah.
Titans released Harold Landry, their sack leader. And then the Bills and Bernard agreed on a $50 million contract extension.
Okay.
And then you have
Rodgers released, right? And then
Rodgers,
Adams,
Hargrove, the defensive tackle Hargrove for the 49ers was released. Then we talked about Bosa and Mack were already released. They said the DB Byron Murphy out of Minnesota, who had a great year this year, is going to test free agency.
Okay. By the way, guys, AFC East is still ours. It's still. I'm not trying to be cocky, Mikey, but the Jets are. I will say this: the Jets are right now. They're doing it right. Like and it's exactly. I called it to begin the 2024 season. I told people on the AFC shakedown, Rodgers will not be a Jet in 2025. I am
be a giant.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I knew he was not going to be with the Jets. I think that was listen. That backfired on, and the Brown desperate teams make desperate moves, right? And the Jets, the Browns, and they're paying for it. But I will say this for the Jets: they're doing it right now by getting rid of anything that was Aaron Rodgers, right?
I mean, they cleaned house everywhere.
Right. That's what I mean. Like I'm just saying, and especially with him, like they're just starting fresh, and that's the way to do it. And now, will they do it right?
And I like
Who knows?
Aaron Glenn,
but it's going to take time. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, I like Aaron Glenn as a coach, so that's really cool. Spaghetti Steve comes in and says Bobby Wagner and Saquon got extensions. Matt Stafford got a big extension. So there's been a lot of stuff going on. every
No,
day.
there is. There is.
Mr.
Absolutely.
Fulton's in the chat.
Yeah, the most interesting man in the chat. My gosh.
Yeah, it's wild. Cooper Kupp might be going. Christian Kirk said he was going to be released, and then all of a sudden he was traded instead.
Yes, Kirk was another one, right? Yes. He's a good player. I like Christian Kirk.
I thought that would have been a really good fit for Buffalo. You know, him and Josh are really good friends. You know, matter of fact, he was at his bachelor party when all this was going down. You know, so it'll be wild.
Hey, the Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
The Jets are the Jets until proven otherwise. I have more faith in seeing Big Fly. Seeing the Jets. But you know what, too? The Dolphins, too. Like, the only team I would say right now doing it right is New England. I will say what the Jets are starting to do looks like it's the right thing. We'll see what they do in free agency and the draft. But the Dolphins are still the Dolphins. They're still going to have their issues. They still have their issues with their quarterback, in my opinion. Once again, that is always a big coach, question marks all over. And there's a lot going on in Miami about work ethic, all that stuff. I think the Dolphins are just they are a mess, like, in my opinion, like with ownership, with GM, with everything.
Is the Patriots got their shit together? Went out.
That's what I mean. That is the only team.
Don't like that.
That is the team I would say that is starting to. But you know what though?
I mean, they're still young.
Listen, it's ownership though. Kraft is a good owner, and Kraft did it right. Right, went out and got his coach he wanted. He didn't stick with the coach that that he didn't want. Right, got rid of him after 1 year. Went and got Vrabel. Got his quarterback. It seems to be right. We'll see in year 2, but it seems to be right now. Got himself a hell of a backup quarterback as well. And they're building the right way. They're getting young players, right? They're not, going out and making desperate moves for a quarterback. Like, they're doing everything right. And I think that is a team, not next year, but I think maybe the following that the Bills need to keep an eye out on for, because that will be a team that's going to start playing us pretty tight. But the Jets and Dolphins, they got problems. I still feel like they got problems.
DG, I'm with you on that. And according to Haley, it's the Bills and the Three Sons. Which
the backup is God, what's his name? The guy from Tennessee played us. Man, I really
have no
man,
idea what you're even talking about.
The Patriots backup guy played for played against us. The Patriots backup quarterback,
Milton.
Yes, Milton. Saying they have a good backup quarterback in Milton as well. They have a good quarterback there. Yeah, good starting quarterback, good backup. Like, dude, I'm telling you right now, I would love to have Milton on our team as a backup. He would fit like he. Like, I mean,
he's not polished. He's raw as all.
But that's okay. That's all right. I mean, dude, what I saw from him, like that guy, if he got with the right team, because right now he ain't gonna listen. As long as his name works out, May works out there, he's probably never going to get an opportunity. However, if a team, if the Patriots ever want to move on from him and a team is willing to take a chance, like Trey Lance, let's say, when Trey Lance wanted,
which he's out there now.
That's what I'm saying. You never know. I'm just saying, man. Like, that's the kind of quarterback I would have drafted late. You know what I mean? Like, why not? And then you just work with him. Yeah, you just work with him. You already have a quarterback.
Hendon Hooker in Detroit's the same way.
Detroit. Yep.
There's a few of them out there. That's what I'd like to see us do, is get a young quarterback that we can bring in. We're not going to, because we have Mitch, we have Mike White, and we signed Bouchel.
No, do we still have Mitch?
Yeah.
She's still on contract? Oh, God, no.
If he's beat out by Mike White, we save like $2 million. So I'm hoping Mike White beats him out.
Mike White was, I got to say, I'll be honest with you, I was excited, and he was so bad. He was so bad. Dude, that was awful. Like, that was terrible. Like, that gave me no promise. Like, I was like, dude, I was so hyped to see him play, and he was so bad.
Let me ask you this question, and it's not a Bills question. It's a Seattle Seahawks question. With Seattle trading Geno, do you think they go out and get like Justin Fields?
I would take a flyer on him. Why not? He'll probably be a cheap pickup, right? Cheap, young. You probably hasn't reached the ceiling yet. You never know. Like, I don't think he
The
has.
D
Like,
coordinator
I don't think
came
he's
from
great,
Baltimore.
but
yeah, the D coordinator came
Yeah.
from Baltimore. They could use his legs like they use Lamar's
Yeah.
legs. Like there's a lot of things they could do with him.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It really, what's the risk?
Ooh, Seattle trading for Joe Milton. I would listen. I like Joe Milton. He has a lot of promise. I would not be wanting to make him my starter.
I think you're right on the Fields thing.
Could
You know
be
why?
worse.
I'll tell you why. It'd be like a Mayfield to Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Tampa took the flyer on Mayfield because Mayfield was
Bouncing around.
Bouncing around a little bit, but it worked out, and he wound up getting a contract. But it was a low risk, high reward.
Yeah.
I think Justin Fields would be a low risk, high reward. And if it doesn't work, it's not like the fans are going to be like, oh, like, who cares?
You don't have to sign
Then
to a long-term deal.
Right. It's, I mean, you sign him to it. Bro, you know who else did that? Geno Smith. When he went to Seattle initially. Remember?
Yeah.
Who the fuck saw Geno Smith doing anything good?
After
Nobody.
After the Giants
Jets.
and Philly.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah.
So,
where's Sam Darnold going? I think Sam's staying in Minnesota personally. I love Weston's comment. We could have worse backups. We could bring back Nate Peterman.
Oh, God, no. That would never. You want to piss Bill's Mafia off? Bring that guy back. I would never. All right. Most interesting man in the chat. He always brings something unique and different. Breaking news. Oh, hold on. You got breaking news? All right. So let me do this for you since you have breaking news. Hold on. I'm going to be hearing back from America's Got Talent producers this spring. I hope I can make it to the next round of America's Got Talent this spring. I will keep you updated. Yes, please keep us updated, Mr. Fulton.
Oh, Beth. Seattle takes Russ back. I don't see that happening.
Listen.
I don't see that happening.
What do you think about Russ? Just curious. Like, how do you see Russ moving forward? Like, as a quarterback, just in general. What do you like? He's intriguing.
Russ is a bridge. He's a bridge to your next quarterback.
Right.
Comes in, starts 5 or 6 games, and then you hand it over to the rookie. Like,
but does he know that though?
No,
in his mind.
No, in his mind, he's still.
Is he having the Cam
Unlimited
Newton, or is he having like the Cam Newton effect?
Yeah.
Remember, Cam Newton was like, "Hey, I'm a starter. I'm the man."
Listen,
like,
you've been the man forever. It's hard to turn
It's
that
hard
off.
to get. Yes. So that's my thing. Like, because he has to eventually. Because listen, let's be real. At this point, no team in their right fucking mind, maybe Cleveland, because they're fucking idiots, give him a long-term deal. But no team in their right mind is going to give that guy longer than 1 year.
No.
I'm being honest with you. Like,
I'll be surprised if someone
be
offers
real
him
with
a
him.
starting job.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
right.
Last year was his best year in a while, and he wasn't good down the stretch.
Bro, he
They
showed
were
his
bad.
Yes.
They were bad down the stretch.
Very bad.
Now,
very
he didn't
bad
have
down
a lot
the
of
stretch.
weapons, but holy crap, was it bad?
But he's not the Russell Wilson we all knew, right? Like we all are used to seeing.
Robert with some breaking news. I did not hear this. Did you hear JJ McCarthy's out for the 2025 season?
Get the fuck out of here. What?
That guy's had like 3 surgeries since he got hurt.
I kept listening. There's a guy that a friend of mine, a Lions fan, and he's a huge Michigan fan.
Of course.
And he right, of course, where I'm here in Michigan, whatever.
Of course, it makes sense.
He was high. Like, remember JJ had that really, really good game in preseason. And he was like, he came to the bar. He's like,
ever to live.
Bro, he's like, watch out for JJ. JJ McCarthy's going to be rookie of the year, bro. And he was like dialed in. Did you see it? And I'm like, bro, calm down.
He didn't even start that game.
Right.
He played against
Relax.
guys that game.
He's like, I'm telling you, bro, arm. I said, listen, let's see what he does. And boom, he's fucking out, right? And I said, that's too bad. And now look, he's out again.
Being out for 2 years is gonna be tough.
No, that's never good, dude. Never good.
I mean, you watched Deshaun. Deshaun took 2 years off and he never recovered.
No, and bro, and it's a leg, right? I think it's a leg, something with his leg.
Yes, yeah, it's a knee. ACL.
Yeah, that's
And he had had like 2 surgeries last year. And now if he had another one, he's going to be out. For the
That
whole
could
season.
be. That's concerning. Like if you're Minnesota,
Okay, Winston said he's not seeing that he's out for the whole season. If he does have to sit out the whole season,
I was going to
2
say
years, and that he hasn't played it down. Like his call to fame is his ability to run. So he already has a bum knee, missed 2 years, like never got any reps.
But let's say he's even almost ready to come back. He won't start. You know what I mean? Like he won't be ready to start. You get what I'm saying? Like they're going to ease him back. So really, he may miss 2 years in a way in playing time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
especially if they bring back Sam.
Yeah. What do you think? I thought I saw something with Sam Darnold that
they haven't made a decision. As last I heard,
yeah,
they haven't made a decision yet on him. But they're talking about letting him go, and then bringing back Cousins and letting McCarthy and Cousins fight it out for the job. Cousins on a cheap deal,
I guess. What Cousins is like one of those players, man. He's like the guy Derek Carr. He's just a floating around, boy, getting paid, floating around, getting these
Derek
contracts.
Carr getting released from New Orleans and possibly ending up either the Jets or the Giants.
He's another guy. I know. It's just like these quarterbacks that float around, man, it's and they still get pretty good deals. It's crazy to me. They never work out. They never stay put. Never. None of them.
Guys, I'm not trading anything serious for JJ. And I think the Vikings would be, insane to not try to get some kind of, high pick back for him. And if I'm any of the other teams, the dude's coming off an ACL, hasn't played yet. I'm not giving up a high pick for him.
You're talking about trading JJ McCarthy? Dude, I'd take whatever. That's a tough. Bro, I would. Dude, I would get rid of him. Absolutely. Listen,
you take a 5th round pick for him after you spent the 1st round last year on him.
I don't know about a 5th round, maybe a 3rd or 4th. God, Mikey,
you're gonna take a day 3 pick.
Listen, he's almost damaged goods, though. I'm just saying, if he's out 2 years,
1 year so far.
But you don't know what he's gonna be when he returns. ACL that young, 2 surgeries. I'm just saying that's a shaky thing, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, I get where you're going with the whole 1st round, but listen, if you have damaged goods, you have damaged goods.
I mean, you're gonna call him damaged good after 1 year?
No. I'm just saying. You said somebody said here he might miss 2025. That's not 1 year. That's
went out and
2 years.
We went out and looked.
Okay.
And said we couldn't find that anywhere.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if he doesn't play next year, hypothetically.
Oh yeah, then you try to get rid of him. But they're saying if he plays this year,
okay,
they're going to trade him this offseason. I'm like, you're not going to get the.
No. Listen, if he's healthy going into next season, absolutely, the Minnesota, you don't trade him. You see what you got in him, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to know in camp. They're going to know how he's moving, right? How he's throwing, how his leg is. Like, will you have any setbacks in camp? Mikey, I've seen it before where players get drafted. But I'm just saying young players, like in general, coming out of the draft that, okay, I'll give you a prime example. Sammy Watkins. Drafted him, could never, injured right away in camp. Injured. Remember? I think he missed most of the season first year. Like, the dude just could never stay healthy. There's guys that were good in college.
They just can't stay healthy.
But for some reason, they just have that bad luck, bro. And I'm not saying McCarthy's going to wind up being that.
We just had a guy, Tommy Doyle, could never stay healthy.
RG3, remember him?
RG3.
That was a wrap, bro.
When Weston comes in and says, "So does Brandon Beane have Brett Veach's number blocked ahead of the draft?" He better. You do not make another trade with the Chiefs.
Oh God, no. Yeah, my poor Mikey's camera. Mikey's cameras. Listen, Mikey's cameras. It has not been on for a month, and it's like, what's going on here, man?
Not working tonight at all.
We gotta listen. Listen, guys. We might have to get Mikey to get a new camera.
No, I just gotta get it working again. It's been a while.
What is it? The focus or something?
Yeah,
Or
the
is
focus
this
just keeps
cobwebs are falling. Is it
Yeah.
still cobwebs and stuff on it?
Yeah, no. It's whatever auto exposure keeps setting that keeps turning off.
Oh my god. We gotta get rid of all the dust from our keyboards and lights.
Been about a month since we've been here.
Oh my god.
Wild.
See, for you, so that is false reporting, Robert.
And he may have seen it somewhere.
I'm just messing with you, Robert. Oh my god, dude.
Interesting to see what Aiden Hutchinson looks like coming back.
I'm interested to see what the Lions in general look like next year
without their offensive and defensive coordinator.
Yeah, dude, that's a big listen. I love their head coach, but it like that coaching squad that he had with him, right, was perfect for him, his coaching style, because he was the aggressive, he was the motivator, he was the team rallies. But these guys, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, they did all the, you know what I mean? Like they were the guys that did everything, like the defensive side of things, the offensive. Like I feel like he needs to go out and get himself a hell of an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator too, because the way he coaches with that aggressive style, he needs like a Ben Johnson to, or a guy like him to.
Yeah, one of those guys that can draw it up.
Because
Campbell's a culture guy. He's not an O guy.
That's what I mean. To draw it up, you need
He's a
that.
Jimmy and Joe's.
Exactly. Like, so I don't know. Like, I'm not sure who they got. Like, I don't follow the Lions that.
I think they hired from within.
Did they? Okay. It's going to be interesting. Obviously,
no. Didn't offense, defense they hired from within. Offense, I think they got Slowick, right?
I don't know.
I think they hired Slowick.
I'm not sure.
From the Texans.
I'm not sure.
Who got let go.
Okay,
but I got a question for Weston.
Yeah,
Joe Tooney got traded. Your All-Pro guard got traded to the Bears. Why are the Chiefs making their positive pieces of their offensive line, guards and center, worse? You're supposed to protect Pat, make it better. What are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's wild. Talk to me, brother. What's going on with the Chiefs offensive line?
Spin is late, man. See, Spin, we've been here for an hour, and you're always telling us about coming here on time, and you're
talking about us being slackers.
Hour and 7 minutes late,
and we're the slackers.
Golly. Oh, so Mikey, so what would you grade so far? I mean, obviously we haven't done a lot, right? Incomplete right now.
Yeah.
But are you happy with, I guess, what he's done so far? What the Bills have done so far?
Overall,
would you say it's heading in the direction that you want it to? You want it to be?
Yes, I need to see Groot get signed. I see Benford get signed, and I'll be happy. Love the coaching staff moves that they made. Love Torber. So excited. Smiley's gone. Torber's in. Trey Smith is 24 and Joe Tooney's almost 33, and Trey Smith has the chemistry with Creed Humphreys and the best to get something back for Tooney while he's still good and falls off. Okay, so they're going the Patriots approach. Better to be a year early than a year late. Okay,
so
that makes sense.
I asked the chat this same question I asked Mikey. So far to date, what do you feel? How do you feel that the Bills have done so far this offseason? Do you see it though? Do you see it going in the right direction, or do you see it how you thought it would be playing out so far? I personally see it going in the right direction, considering they fired the special teams coach. Right, that was a positive.
Give me that train horn.
right.
So Matthew Smiley being gone.
Yeah. So that's a start, right?
Yeah, buddy.
So that's one move. I love the Khalil Shakir extension.
I like
Bernard
at the price we got him too.
At the price we got him, young, super young. You know, like I said, yeah, great connection with John. He
defensive captain.
Yeah, and our captain locked up. He's happy. Like the main guys so far were like I'm good with it. I'm good with the signings. So far so good. I'm very interested to see what they do in free agency, though. Very interested to see what Bean spends, because he said he wasn't going to be a big spender. I know we don't have a lot right now, but exactly. So will it come in a trade and then he's going to restructure a deal, or is he not going to trade and he's just going to sign a bunch of thrift store 8 free agents, or is he going to actually make a surprise? Do a couple surprise moves and actually go to
game record on the defensive side.
Spend a little money and get some real talent here on the defensive side. So I'm curious what he does, or is he going to just save everything for the draft? I don't know. Like, it's odd, man, with Bean though, because last year he was thrift store shopping, but the year before he spent. So they
spent last year, fixing the cap for a reason.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you, Weston. I like what the Bears have done, because they also went out and got Jonah Jackson from the Rams. I like that they're fixing the first thing that that Ben Johnson did when he got there was fix the offensive line.
Yeah,
I like that. Yes,
Myles Garrett.
Give me some Myles Garrett all day.
Please, dude, honestly, if we do nothing in free agency, but we make a trade for Myles Garrett, it's a win. I'm fine with that, right?
Myles, Hendrickson, those guys.
A game wrecker on the defensive side, right?
Wrecking,
absolutely. So in the draft, do you want us to go young in the draft for corner, Mikey, or do you rather us go out and sign like a veteran corner that could be the number 2 right off the riff? You know what I mean? Or do you want to bring in a number 2?
Can I be real with you?
Yeah.
I want to see us draft one, and in day 2, and I want us to bring back Dane Jackson.
Good old Dane Jackson. I like Dane Jackson. Nothing wrong with Dane Jackson.
Solid corner. Bring back Dane, and go draft us a young corner that can grow into the position.
Oh, look at Spin with some rumors. Spin with the rumors. Says I think we might end up getting Sweat though.
I mean, I would be okay with Sweat. I'd be okay with Reddick, Hassan Reddick. I'd be okay with any of them. And Spaghetti Steve comes in and says the Bengals are asking for a second and third for Hendrickson. We got 2 2s. Give up one of them and go get you the leading sack artist last year.
Yeah,
and he didn't have help on his defensive line at all. He did all that stuff by himself. And one of our new coaches spent time with him in New Orleans as his defensive line coach.
Yeah, I'm just does Kyer make the squad next year, Mikey? I say no.
I think he gets.
No, you think someone's still? I think it's
going to be some
just
sort of
something, anything.
It'll be Kyer in a 7th or a 6th or something like that.
Yeah, first round picks. But at this point, that's
gotta let him go. Gotta let him go.
Yeah,
and, because if we trade him, we get that money back.
Yeah,
if we release him, we get nothing back.
What player on this team would you trade that is a Bills favorite? Like a top kind of guy on our team? Would you be willing to?
Yeah,
that you'd be willing to? Yeah,
trade. Let me get to Robert's thing. It says Mikey, Dane Jackson couldn't make it on the Panthers. Dane Jackson started the first 4 games and then got hurt. It's not that he couldn't make it; he got injured.
I don't know about the number 2 role for Dane as a depth guy. I would want him here.
He's the perfect stopgap. You go draft a young corner. Dane can fight with whatever we have in house for that, and he's a great depth guy, and we know what he can do in the Bills system. Why the young guys learning? Like I'm up with Dane coming back as depth here. Dane's.
Yeah.
I thought he played.
No, for depth,
While he's
I
here.
thought he was fine. I thought, yeah, I never had an issue with Dane Jackson. He's not a starter, but he's for depth. I have no problem with him. He
I wouldn't
fills
say
in
he's not a
when he
starter.
needs to.
I think he's an average starter.
He's
Not elite. He's not he's
Yeah.
not above average. He's an average NFL starter.
I wouldn't want him as our number 2 though. I wouldn't feel comfortable going in with Benford.
We had him as our
Dane
number
Jackson.
2 years ago.
No, but I don't want him as. That's the problem. I don't
when
want
we
him
were
as
a
a
top
number 2.
5 defense, and he was our number 2 corner.
Yeah. We listen. That's not the route to go. You need to go through the. In my opinion, you got to get young. You got Benford. You fucked up on Khair. You don't need to draft. I'm not saying draft one in the first round, but I'm sure you can get a good corner in the second or third round. You know, they're out there. I'm not depending on Dane Jackson to be the number 2 because listen,
again,
the problem is too though with that, Mikey, is Benford, like we were talking about,
has injury history.
right? And then you have Dane as the one. Like, ooh, now we're in trouble.
Now, here's the thing. Again, Dane would be a bridge to the young guy.
Yeah, I got you.
That's all. And then he's solid depth that you can plug and play as you need to.
I got you.
And it's not going to cost us a ton of money.
So what
go back to
player,
your
Mikey?
question.
What player that's a Bills favorite? You know, like you know, and when I mean Bills favorite, I'm talking about like James Cook, I'm talking about Dawson Knox, I'm talking about like Dalton Kincaid, any guy that's a value to the team. Would you be willing to trade for? What that you'd be willing to part with? Just in any trade
For
general.
anybody?
Just in general, that you would be like, you know, like obviously for trading Dalton Kincaid, I'm just saying we're getting somebody pretty important. So who would you be willing
after
to?
The combine and everything you heard, Dalton Kincaid's not going anywhere. You know, who can I?
But I mean, I'm not talking about we're not going anywhere. I'm talking about you. Like, what player would you be willing to part? Yeah, if it was up to you, you're in charge, and a team reaches out to you and says, "Okay, we want this draft pick, and we want that guy."
Any of them that's not Josh Allen.
So you'd be willing to part away with anyone except for Josh Allen, you're saying, with the top player. Khalil Shakir,
Depending on what we get back, would I be open to listen? There is not a player on our team outside of Josh Allen that I would not listen to for a trade.
Okay. All right. Ooh, that's man. I don't know about that. I think there's some.
Maybe Spencer Brown.
I want to get rid of any of our offensive linemen.
No,
except for
If they were going to offer you a 1 for Spencer Brown, that's going to be like in the teens. You wouldn't take it?
No.
You're crazy.
No, because Spencer Brown.
Okay.
I still feel like is super young.
Tybo.
No, because here's the deal. Here's why. Offensive line I wouldn't fuck with at all, except for David Edwards. Right. The reason why I'm saying that is because we're young and they still have room to grow. Like I still feel like Spencer Brown could be better, and he's really good right now. I still feel like Saibo could be way better than he is, and he's really good, right? And Deion Dawkins is really fucking good.
We have the guy who helped mold those guys into.
I get it, but is it worth the gamble?
You asked me
in the
who
trenches?
would I be willing to.
Yeah,
now,
I know. I'm just saying I want to fuck with the offensive line.
Depending on, like, the only non-touchable that we have on our team is Josh Allen, to me.
Oh, absolutely.
But someone calls up Josh, you hang up the phone. Anybody else, I'm listening to what they're offering.
What about who else? Okay, so Ed Oliver, obviously, right? Like
I'm listening to anybody on the defense.
Anybody on the defense? Okay.
Anybody
all right. I mean, listen, that's a fair, honest.
No.
What about you, chat? Is there a player that you wouldn't part ways with other than Josh? Like besides Josh Allen, because obviously Josh Allen.
Yeah,
forget that.
And Spin, I did say Brown. Brown's probably the only other one on offense that I would probably not take the phone call on.
I just could not move. Like it took forever to get our offensive line good. I could not just gamble away. Like
no, I'm not saying I'm going to trade them. You just asked, would I take the
No, I know. I'm just saying, like me personally, like on my end, I think I would be willing to listen to anyone else except for our offensive line
and Josh
Allen, but everybody else. And I love Khalil Shakir, but depending on what I'm getting back,
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone else, I think I would be totally
I
fine.
get behind that.
Yeah.
So
what about you?
You wouldn't listen.
Guys in the
You
chat?
wouldn't listen
Yeah.
for David Edwards.
Absolutely, David. That's what I'm saying. He's the only guy. He's our weakest link. So, yes, David Edwards.
Would you listen for Connor McGovern knowing you have SVP behind him?
Yes, I would.
So not our whole offensive line. So you're saying
no, just our three core. Yes.
Okay. So not our whole.
So
you're saying
yeah, I apologize. So our three young guys. Yeah, our three core guys.
Okay.
Our three core guys for sure. Because we have now. If we didn't have SVP, I would say no.
I trade Terry Pagula. I'm not trading Terry Pagula. He writes the checks.
Yeah, like we finally got it right. Like we haven't got it totally right yet because I think the David Edwards thing is our weakest link. But if we can draft a left guard in this draft to build him up like Cromer, and maybe even have the Edwards and him go at it at camp, and who cares? Even if Edwards beats him out, whatever, Cromer can work with the left guard we drafted. Then there's our futures, just like SVP.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're shaping up to be a young, really solid offensive line. Like that's what I want to see. Like Edwards is not the future at left guard. There's no way in hell.
No. Weston comes in and says, you'd be willing to listen to Matt Milano and James Cook? Absolutely. I would be listening to both of those guys.
Yes, absolutely. Matt Milano for sure.
Yeah, we've played seasons without Matt.
Yeah.
And James Cook wants $15 million and we're not paying that much money.
Yeah, dude. And listen, man, and Mikey, and I hate to say it, man. Like run it like I'm with the whole not paying running backs, man. Unless they're super duper dynamic. Like honestly, like I think you can find them in the draft, bro. You really can. If you have a good enough offensive line, that's what I mean. But if you have a good enough offensive line, I've seen running backs go to like a player get injured on a good offensive line team and a backup comes in and does pretty good.
Yeah. Because
their offensive line, you know what I mean? Like I've seen it plenty of time. Look at like Detroit. Both running backs are pretty solid.
They're more than pretty solid.
You know what I'm saying? But the offensive line also really helps them out. I'm not saying that those guys aren't good, but I'm just saying like there's teams that have really good offensive lines and they're like Cleveland, for instance. When Cleveland lost what's his name a year ago? Chubb.
They lost Callahan. Their offensive line fell apart.
Ford came in and ran really good. Remember that? And who the hell was nobody? That guy's not going anywhere with a bad offensive line running that good.
Different than the Shanahan years. You know, Shanahan builds a really good offensive line and just plug anybody behind him.
Exactly. So, look, man, I think Cook deserves to get paid, just not what I think he thinks he deserves to get paid.
Barry Sanders, Ben. Barry Sanders. That's who.
Barry Sanders, best running back ever.
Here's the thing. People forget this because it happened early in the season. James Cook missed a game, and Ray Davis stepped in and ran for 100 plus and a touchdown, and kept our offense going just like if James Cook was there. James Cook is a very good back, in a really good system that works. You know, I think you could plug another guy back there and do the same thing. Like the difference with James Cook and any of the other backs that we have is that breakaway speed. There's times James Cook gets out in the open and takes it deep.
No, I get that, and that's great. Spin. I will say this: the Dolphins don't have a great offensive line, and their running back was a fucking beast.
He's real good.
I'm just saying.
Saquon didn't have a good offensive line with the Giants, and he was really good.
Right. So there's like if you're a top running back,
horrible offensive line, he was good in Carolina.
Exactly. So listen, that's what I mean about top 5 type running backs. Those guys that get paid that much is because they can work with okay offensive line play and they still can be really productive. I don't think James Cook with a bad offensive line or okay offensive line would be that productive. I think he would be good, but I don't think he would be what you saw the last 2 seasons.
He was okay his rookie year.
Well, his rookie year, he was a backup to Devin Singletary.
But we didn't have a great offensive line that year.
And we didn't have no, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I
think
don't...
Singletary would be really good with this offensive line.
Absolutely. Absolutely, he would be. I'm just saying, like, guys, like, look, Ray Davis came in, filled in for James Cook, and he did just fine.
Mm-hmm.
just fine. Go back and watch the games that Ray Davis played.
Ty Johnson's looked really good.
Yeah, Ty. So, do you really want to give that much? I just don't. I just want to do it.
I can't give him that much money. I'm not sure I want to give him 10 because I feel like I could use that on somebody else on the defense.
See, Spin, I disagree. Now, look, if they wind up not paying Cook and Cook winds up going elsewhere, and let's say Ray Davis doesn't produce, then okay, you know what? Then I'll eat the crow and I'll say, damn, we fucked up with James Cook. We should have kept James Cook. But I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna say I think that we will be just fine without James Cook.
We will not be able to replace James Cook's big play ability.
Yes, I agree with that.
But I believe we can replace his production.
To take it to the house if he's in the open. Yeah, yep. I'm with you.
With that speed that he brings, we won't be able to replace that unless we go with one of those top guys. Can we replace the production? Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you.
The big plays, no. Like James Cook, you give him the ball one play and it's a house call.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say this about James Cook: he got better as a player. Like he whatever he did in the offseason to get better, to improve his game, he did. Like I will give him that love, but he's not a top 5 running back. You can't pay that guy that kind of money. And then we're going to be
half the snaps.
Right. When we need, listen, I would say this: if we had a ton of money, Mikey, a ton of cap, fine. You can go a little bit over 10, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that I would, but right now we're playing with not a lot of high. We don't have the greatest guy. We got to be smart. Like can't just start throwing chunks of change to players that, like Mikey said, aren't really on the field. I'm like, you got to be smart with it. You got to do what's right on both sides of the ball. Right now, for me, you got to take the money on the defensive side. You can't overpay a running back. You can't do it. You can't.
Like if it's a game changer, the Saquons, the Derricks, the McCaffreys, those type of guys, if they're the game changers, fine.
Right. Exactly. That's where I'm at, Spin. I'm good with 8 to 10. I have no problem with that. Yeah, and I'd be happy to for him to come back.
Brian getting him 15.
Exactly. No.
And the question is, paying Cook worth the production that will be lost between Cook and the production. I don't think will truly be lost. His big play ability will be lost.
Why does he didn't say why he feels he's worth 15. But what do you think? Why he feels like he's 15?
He wasn't even on the field in the
I know. I'm saying
plays at the end.
I'm just saying
season.
Why do you think James Cook feels like he's worth 15?
Because his brother said give him 20.
I mean, so you're thinking like it's more about his brother kind of pushing what he's hearing.
And more feeling like he is a key to the cog. He's heard nothing but praise from the coaches.
Right.
About, his worth ethic and and he's big play and
the touchdowns.
Right. I get all that. But I'm not giving him 15. Especially not giving a guy 15 who can't be on the field for 3 downs.
And I think I'll be honest with like James Cook, like the last thing you need. And listen, I get it. He's your brother, your older brother. But do you see where your older brother's at right now? I would kind of not listen. You have agents for a reason. That's why sometimes when you take bad advice from outsiders or your brother or family, it could really backfire. And I hope for him it doesn't, because it backfired for some players. Like it really has. Like some players that held out for more. Look, Le'Veon Bell. Exactly. Did not look. Guy's boxing. I mean, his career. That's it. I'm not saying it would happen to Cook, but I just put it this way.
You can't miss time.
Do you see a team paying that? Like I'm just saying, let's say Bills were like, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Let's say hypothetically, like, do you see a team paying James Cook $15 million?
Yeah, I could see a bad team paying James Cook $15 million,
like Cleveland,
like a team that has a bunch of money, right?
Right.
Well, the Patriots have like $100 million this offseason. They could use a playmaker. James Cook is a playmaker. Say what you want about.
No, he is.
He's a playmaker. and you got teams that are starving for playmakers. I could see them
Right.
paying him that because they have the money. They're not paying the quarterback. But he's not going to end up like with the Chiefs making $15 million or any of these contenders making that much money.
No. Yeah, I just I don't know. I think he's I think he's in for a rough surprise. Like if he's out there, because I just don't see Bean budging. I think he has a number. I think he's gonna stick to it.
Bean doesn't budge, dude.
That's what I mean. Very rare. Now he gave money to Diggs. He did budge on like when Diggs was like, yeah, I want to get like he did
every penny of that.
But I'm saying he earned it. But I'm saying he did pay him. You know what I mean? Like he paid him what he wanted. He paid him handsomely. Like it wasn't like a cheapy, team-friendly deal.
4-year, $100 million, basically.
right. So I'm just saying, like Bean will pay. I just don't think he is comfortable paying a running back.
Would you rather give Cook 15 or Groot 20 or 25?
I give Groot 20.
Yeah.
All day.
You can't pay them all.
Can't pay them all.
So at the end of the day, I'm taking I'm taking Groot, who's younger. He's only 24, and I'm probably paying Benford.
Yep. And I also feel like
sorry.
I think Bean also realizes he's made some mistakes in some of the signings early on for the young players. And I don't know if you'll like Dawson Knox. He paid a little early because he got a little excited about the 1 year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Got a little excited. And I'm not saying Dawson Knox is a bad player, but he's not worth what he was getting paid.
Well, he was worth what he's getting paid as he took the pay cut last year.
Well, now he is, but I'm just saying at the time of the deal, like it didn't work out. Dalton Kincaid is an interesting one too. Like when his rookie contract coming up in time,
you're not paying him based off of what he's done to this point.
But what do you think? You know what I mean? Like, let's say Kincaid has a good year. You know what I mean? Now we're on, what do we do? Right?
To the football god's ears. Give us Kincaid.
Dude, it's like, man, it's crazy. I would hate to be a GM. It's tough, man. It is tough. Mikey, there's Mikey.
Yep.
Knox is worth 8 to 10 million.
Yeah. And that's what he's about. That's what he's getting paid about. After he does his
now because he reworked it, but at the time he was like what, top 5, top
14, 14,
he was up there. He was up there as far as tight ends go. But that's because he had a really good season.
I'm good with us signing Sweat. Sweat's gonna want some big time money though.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. I think we go with one of the older ones, Mac, Bosa. One of these older.
If you had to choose Mac or Bosa, probably Mac, right?
I'm probably going Mac. Probably won't cost as much.
And I think he's been a little bit more consistent too.
We're gonna pay Groot. That's probably what I would do. I would go and get like a Jonathan Allen, and then draft us a stud DT. Try to move up in the draft to get Grant. If we go out and get another, another edge rusher like a Mac, and then you get another DT, I'm trying to take one of my seconds and trying to move up.
Absolutely, I'm with you there. I'm with you,
and let them learn from the veterans. I'm doing that all day long.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, I watched a little film on Grant, man. He's a
monster. he's a monster.
Yeah, that's a big dude, bro. And he makes listen, he can move too for a big guy. He's not like he's like slow. Like guy has pretty good feet, man. So
he's an elite run defender who has some pass rush ability. You know who he reminds me a lot of? T'Vondre Sweat.
There you go.
T'Vondre Sweat was the same way. Elite run stuffer with a little bit of pass rush. And he had a great year. I love Derek Harmon too. But he's more of a 3-tech than a 1-tech. If we're going to go Derek Harmon in round 1, we're going to need to come back with either Jamie Lee Caldwell, who's a big 1-tech in like the 3rd round, late 4th, or we're going to need to maybe move up to get like Alfred Morris from Texas, who's a big 1-tech.
Yeah.
Because Harmon's not a 1-tech.
Well, hopefully, listen. At the end of the day, man, I think this is going to be a defensive-heavy free agency and
draft
for the Buffalo Bills. I I don't see a lot on the offensive side. I don't think we need a lot. I told you,
an extra
I
receiver.
feel like a left guard. I feel like we should draft somewhere
Yes.
to prepare. If you know what I mean, to kind of get ready for the David Edwards. Moving on from the Edwards in the future, and a receiver. But late, not lately, but day 3, day 2, day 3, probably day 3. But they're out there. Like, you can get them. You know what I mean? If not, they're free agency. I'm sure there's someone for now until maybe the following draft. If we still need that help at receiver, you get what I mean? If Keon Coleman hasn't stepped up his game, like, I'm hoping. We don't talk about it, but we're hoping guys like Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. Like, these guys, can step up their game. Yes, because maybe then we're not, we don't necessarily need that a receiver. Maybe Curtis Samuel gets right. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with those guys. Hopefully, put the work in, especially like Keon Coleman. Like, Keon Coleman, this is a big offseason for him.
Yeah, because the coaches and weren't talking lovely about him.
No, they weren't. They also said, hey, they understood he was dealing with that wrist thing. Yeah, he's and dealing with the injury. He was out a month. He wasn't right when he got back.
He came back though.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what that could be? Immaturity.
Yeah,
young.
He's young.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
young, immature. And that's stuff that as you get older, hopefully he matures more. What I'm hoping for him is, like, he gets with like an Eric Moulds, right? Like, maybe he works with Khalil, and I know he works with his cousin, but sometimes working with family, I'm just saying, it could be messing around more than you're working out. Like, for me, if I'm Keon Coleman,
go see Eric Moulds. I would love.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, right. Dude, put the work in. Like, we drafted look, we had you as our number 1 receiver in the last year's draft. Plain and simple. Like, for us, you got to be better, right? And I'll be honest with you though, Mikey. I said going into last year, don't be disappointed if Keon Coleman has an okay season. And that's what he had.
I mean, he was making strides until he got hurt.
Yeah, but I knew that was roughly where he was going to be at. Like, what did he wind up having? 600 yards, something like that. 500-600. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but that's kind of what I predicted. You know what I mean? I mean,
and
honestly,
he missed a bunch of games.
And he missed a month.
Yeah.
So he could have probably had 800. I mean,
that's what I thought he was going to be closer to.
Yeah. I mean, but listen, man, I think he's a player that needs put more work in. That's all. Yep. He
needs his release package because he needs to get separation.
Exactly. So he had 556 last year, Mikey.
Okay.
So he missed a month, right? So let's say a month. Let's add in another. Let's be minimal. Let's say 100. Let's say 100 just for shits and giggles, right?
656
on the low end. Yeah. So 656. It's not terrible. I mean, it's not great, but he's a second round pick who we all knew needed some work, right?
Yep.
Who needed a little bit of fine tuning. I think with Keon Coleman, Mikey, it's going to take, and I said that the first year, maybe in his second or third season is where, if he's going to blossom, you'll see it blossom.
I hope it doesn't take until year 3.
It could. I mean, it could. I don't like. It depends on the work ethic.
Because
honestly, Mikey, it's his work ethic.
I don't know if they may be looking for if it's going to take until year 3, they may be looking for another. Now they'll keep him, but they may be going out and drafting somebody else because they're going to there's no guarantees in a hit.
That's true, but
they don't see that growth this year.
But there's some player, Eric Moulds, in it come around into his 3rd season.
I'm just saying this.
I'm saying like
they're in a championship window, brother.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Just be waiting on dudes.
No, I get that, but he's on a rookie deal. Like, what are you going to do? Cut him? Release him?
No, I'm just saying. Don't be surprised if he doesn't take that next step or show
no, I do.
Growth next year,
I get it.
That they're not looking for somebody else.
I just feel. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to hit Robert's comment. He says, "Do you think the Bills extend Josh Allen this year?" No. I think we will renegotiate and take the $11 million, and then I think we rip up his contract and give him a new one next year. And I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be $60+ million. We're gonna give him. We're gonna give him a big contract next year.
Yeah, Beth. He says a lot of things, and I don't know what he like with Pete. Listen. I have no idea what he's gonna do anymore. Like One year he said he wasn't going to spend anything. He goes and spends
120
heavy
on
money. Yeah, so like at this point, like, I have no idea.
Spen comes in and says this is year one of the defense rebuild because last year we had to eat it and stand pat after moving on from a bunch of players. You're right. And not only did they get a bunch of defensive rebuild from a player standpoint, they're rebuilding their coaching staff on the defense side too.
Yeah. Yep.
Is key.
They did that last year too. They got a couple new coaches,
and they tweaked it a little bit, and brought in some guys. So I like what they're doing now. Now we have a big one. I'd be willing to trade Epinesa. I'd be willing to give Webb for a freaking bag of oranges. That guy did nothing for us last year except steal our money.
Highly disappointed in what listen, when he re-signed with us,
I had high hopes that
cool.
he was.
Yeah, dude, I was cool with it because I thought it wasn't a crazy pay, but it was decent. But I thought that he would be like, okay, I got paid. I'm going to show, because Ed Oliver did that. Ed Oliver got paid, and he had a really good season when he got paid that year, right? Like he showed his worth, and I love that when players, because some players get paid and they don't. And I felt like Epinesa did not show his worth.
He regressed this last year.
He regressed.
There was no pass rush to him at all.
Nothing. Yeah, dude. Like the year before, bro, pass rush. He was getting he's squatting passes. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He barely did that this year. Like he was like a shell of himself. I don't know what happened with Epinesa, but
the more reps, and he got more reps this year than he was going to. Like he started losing reps to, a bunch of, other guys who hadn't been here.
Yeah, he did.
That didn't know the system as well as he did. Because he wasn't producing,
like we thought he would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we paid him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What players?
Leonard Floyd was cut too.
What players do you feel like needs to put a little bit more work in this offseason that you would like to see put more work in?
Solomon. Love to see we saw flashes from him last year. I need him to get in the weight room and get stronger to be more of a run defender.
A little bigger.
Get him his pass rush ability out on the field. Groot. I think there's still room for him to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Dorian Williams.
A little bit more working.
A little bit more working. Get a little bit better in coverage because that's the one area I think that he struggles in. Cole Bishop has a ton of work to do this offseason.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with there. Big time. Yep. Kincaid.
Kincaid. I would like to see Rapp work on his his flexibility and his injury prevention. He always tends to get hurt at the wrong time.
Coleman, we talked about him.
Coleman, we talked about. Cybo. I think Cybo still has a ton of room to grow.
Yep.
I'm
with you there too, Cybo. That's a good one. Yep.
So those are a lot of guys who I thought that could really use some work that could take another step.
Exactly. And if most of those guys you just said are all young.
Yeah.
All the young dudes. So listen, man, I think Dawson Knox at this point is who he is.
Really solid tight end too.
Yeah. Like I don't think there's any.
He's
work.
a borderline tight end one.
We know
a really good or elite tight end too.
Exactly. Like we know what we know what we can expect from him, Dawson Knox. I think Kincaid, like honestly, out of all these guys, like I know the coaches were hard on Keon Coleman, and rightfully so, right? You drafted him with different. For me though, like on the offensive side of things, I think if I was McDermott, I would have called out Kincaid a little bit more because
they said
if first round pick, Mikey. I'm just saying first round.
He was hurt more than it was let on.
I get it, but I don't care about that. He dropped passes. Has nothing to do with injury.
He's also Josh missing him. Like I would put Kincaid and Josh spend the summer together, figure it out.
Whatever you got to do. I'm just saying, Kincaid. Listen, we expected more as a fan base. I think they expected more. I don't care about injury or not. He dropped passes.
Don't use him very well.
I get it, but when given the opportunity, he can't
drop it.
Right. So I listen. Here's the deal. Kincaid needs to go to that tight end university shit,
and he does every year.
Do it again. I don't care. Put the work in. Right. Yeah. If you need to gain weight a little bit, whatever you got to do, get stronger. Right. Get stronger. I just need to see better from the guy that we had such high hopes for, because I really did. Because remember when we drafted him, we were like, huh? Remember? Why? What? Right? And then we were like, oh shit, okay, this guy's fucking good, right?
Like
and then we heard, and then the camp he was rolling. Yeah, so
I'm sick of the short shit. Let's get him on some crossers and some seams and use his athletic ability. So much of like the little hooks where he stopped. What's going on, Mike? You know
what up?
Yeah, Kelsey didn't hit it until year 3 or 4. I think it was year 4 when he really started to take off, because Andy Reid said the first 5 he was a headache. The last 5 he's been wonderful.
But you may be right with the Allen to Kincaid thing.
They just need to figure it out. Allen missed him wide open a bunch this year.
They need to get it right. Like they need to get their connection down right. I think Khalil
Allen
and him
are
fine.
Have that.
Yeah, they have that.
Now we need to get Kincaid and him to link
exactly.
Up
yeah, exactly. That's the thing I noticed with Allen. Like, I think receivers really have to, because he's different, right? Like you have to. Like you have to be on the same page, right? Like you have to read each other.
Way.
Yes,
and a lot of times Josh is expecting him to cross more, and he stops.
Yes. So whatever it is, they got to get it right. With once they do, it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Right now you got Shakir and Kincaid on a roll. Like now we're talking. Like that's the thing too. Like I don't think Curtis Samuel, because he was injured a lot, he ever really got into that rhythm with Josh. Keon Coleman
better at the end of the year. When he got
he looked better, but still, you know what I mean? Like not where Amari Cooper started but
they never got
really
on the same page.
Yeah, they a little, but not really. And I think by the way, I think Amari, somebody said he's going or talking to what team was it? I forget the team.
You can't be talking to yet.
No, but like supposedly, like
he's predicted to go to somewhere.
Yeah. I forget where they said, but it wasn't. And I have a feeling I haven't heard anything.
I don't know if Mario comes back.
I don't think he's coming back.
If you listen to Matthew Berry said the reports were that the Bills felt that he has kind of lost it. He's not going to be that guy.
You know what, man?
If you listen to Matthew Berry.
Yeah, listen, man. You got to go younger. Would I hate him coming back? No. You know what I mean? Depending on the deal. You know what I mean? Because I do like the guy. I think he still has something left.
He also, his presence out there changed our offense.
Absolutely. Like, yes, you can't deny that. Absolutely. I felt like when we got him, Keon Coleman got better. Shakir played a little better. Kincaid, like he did make our offense go a little bit smoother, right?
Not everything was so hard.
Exactly. So, but depends on what, how much he thinks his value is, right? Like, what Bean thinks his value. So I don't think he's coming back. I just don't. I feel like, we're going to probably wind up just drafting a receiver, or maybe
we'll sign like the MVSs or something along those lines. Because that's what we do. The cheap one.
That's what we do. The cheapy. Yeah. Mac Holland. Like I would want Mac back. Like, hopefully Mac
was good.
Mac was good. Like I was surprised. Like now, mind you, I don't want him to be
wide receiver 1, come back as wide receiver 4, and special teams guy.
You know what's weird though? I will say about Mac, like Josh and him did have a connection.
They did.
Like they, for some odd reason, Josh, like. You're like, it was weird.
If you listen to Fitzpatrick said he had the same connection with him when he was in Miami, and he said, you go back, you listen to Chris Long about when Mac was with him in Philly. He had the same connection in Philly with the quarterbacks. He had it in
maybe he's just one of those guys. Yeah,
he's just one of those guys that connects with the quarterback, and he's not going to be flashy. He's not the most talented dude, but he just outworks everybody.
But I wonder if Mac Hollins is one of those guys who's like he enjoys being a journeyman though. like, hey, I'm gonna go to play for the Titans for 1 year. Now I'm gonna go play for what I mean? Like I wonder if he likes that's like his thing. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, and fans love him. Like, like they know, okay, guy's gonna be here 1 year, but he's cool dude. Like, he's gonna put up some number
I hope he comes back. I really do, because I thought he was.
I do too.
He was what we were hoping Sherfield was.
Yes, and more. Really.
Wide receiver
Yeah.
4 that has the upside. That's still a good special teamer, and he was great. He gave us
He
some
was,
attitude too.
He did, man. He did, and positive vibes. Like he like he was a great locker room guy. They loved him, and like just a good dude. And like you said, he brung nastiness though.
Yeah.
Like he was goofy, but then once the game started,
nasty.
Nasty, right? Like he turned a switch, and I love that about him. So
Mac was in line with what we got out of Gabe Davis. I'm with you on that. I'm not sure if he's a better version of Gabe, but he gave us that production that Gabe gave us.
Yeah. But he's not better than Gabe Davis.
I wouldn't say he's better. I'm just saying he gave us that production.
Okay, yeah. I wonder if Gabe has it. You think Gabe's another guy who's like injury prone a little bit? Do you think Gabe is falling? Yeah, he's like falling into the Sammy Watkins kind of deal. Like he'll be around the league for a little bit, but he's just going to be one of those guys that just
always
can't stay healthy. Right. All right.
Has that those foot injury.
Yeah, sucks, man. Because I like him. He's a good dude, man. Good dude. And when healthy, he's not a bad player. Like he's okay. You know what I mean? He puts up.
He's just inconsistent. That's all.
He's inconsistent. Yeah, absolutely inconsistent.
So, all right, dude. We've been here for an hour 50.
It was fun, man. It was fun.
I miss doing this.
Yeah, dude. Like it's been about a month since we gone live. So people that weren't here earlier, I'll tell you again. I did get a new job right now. I'm on different nights every week, so I'm eventually hoping that I get my Fridays back. This Friday I was off, so that's why we're here. Next Friday I work. So what we're going to do is next week we're going to go live Monday, since we're not going to go live Friday. So in time, hopefully, like I said, I can get my Fridays off every week, and we'll be here every Friday. But until then, it's just kind of going to be like random nights, right? It may not even be a Monday. It might be a Tuesday, or Wednesday. So we'll keep you posted. Probably on Twitter, or I'll write something on the YouTube post board or whatever. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, man. Look, man, guys. Look, work calls for work is first for me. I had to get my thing right. I had to get my money right, or we won't even be here. I was 2 weeks away being evicted. So, thank God everything worked out. And I did miss this. I missed you guys. I missed Mikey. I missed talking Bills football. We were a little rusty tonight, right? Our camera issues. Our intro was wrong, and everything is a little fucked up. But we'll get it right. It's been a month, but we appreciate your patience with us. For you guys sticking around, being loyal to the channel. Yeah. And yeah, we're not going anywhere. So Bills Mafia, we love you. And Mike, any last words?
No, I'm excited to be back. And it's off-season time, which is our favorite. Get into the free agency, get into the draft, start doing mocks and stuff. I'm excited. A lot of fun conversations to come.
Oh,
the next
dude.
few months. I
can't wait for the draft. I can't wait for me to post a video on who the Bills are drafting.
You bet you nailed the last two. So
dude,
I ain't gonna I'm not gonna tell you this year. That's not the archetype.
I'm leaning on Grant. But my problem with it is I don't think he falls to where we draft. So that's why I'm having an. I don't know. I want him, but we'll see. Yeah. All right. Anyways, we're out here. We've been on here so long.
Yeah.
All right, Bills Mafia, we love you. Yeah. And as always, go Bills. We're out of here. Peace.